The San Francisco 49ers have just unveiled their regular season schedule for 2026, and fans are buzzing with excitement and speculation. Where are you watching from? Leave your thoughts in the comments below as we dive into each matchup and what it might mean for our team. First up, we have to discuss the implications of Nick Bosa's health. It appears he's expected to be on the field, but with training camp on the horizon and a likely absence, there's a real concern about his readiness. A rusty Bosa could give Matthew Stafford the time he needs to exploit our defense. Plus, the fact that Michael Williams will be sidelined raises alarms for our run defense, which could be vulnerable unless the team makes a bold move to sign a veteran like Joey Bosa. With Raheem Morris stepping into the role of defensive coordinator for the first time, the 49ers will face a challenging offense, and this matchup could be a critical test of our defensive capabilities. Looking at the Miami Dolphins, they've turned their roster upside down in preparation for a rebuild in 2027. This means they're likely to endure a heavy loss against us, which could be a much-needed confidence boost for our team. However, the run defense will remain a point of contention until Williams returns mid-season. Meanwhile, the Cardinals seem to be in disarray without a reliable quarterback, which might provide us an edge, but we can't afford to underestimate any opponent. Switching our focus to the Denver Broncos, they're coming off a strong 14-win season with an elite defense that appears to have no glaring weaknesses. Adding Jalen Waddle to their ranks makes them a younger, more dynamic threat than we've seen in years. This game will definitely test our mettle. The Seattle Seahawks are in a transitional phase, having lost both their offensive coordinator and starting running back. This could weaken their offensive output, but we know Mike McDonald is a defensive mastermind. He's had success against Kyle Shanahan, which adds another layer of complexity to this rivalry. As we look at the Commanders, Jaden Daniels may prove to be a worthy adversary, but with David Blau's lack of experience as an offensive coordinator, we should capitalize on that. Brandon Ayuk's status remains uncertain, and the 49ers seem intent on holding on to him until just before the season starts, which could impact our offensive strategy. In Week 7, the matchup against the Falcons is intriguing. We're not sure if Michael Penix or Tua Tagovailoa will be at the helm, but history suggests neither will present a significant challenge for our defense. The Raiders, despite a solid draft, are still a year away from contention, and with the 49ers coming off a bye week, this game should be a must-win. By the time we face the Cowboys, we expect to see Williams back on the field and Bosa hitting his stride. That should bolster our pass rush, putting pressure on Dak Prescott to make mistakes under duress. In contrast, the Cardinals remain a non-threat until they find a competent quarterback, and we can only hope they continue to flounder. The Giants, under new leadership with John Harbaugh, could be a wild card, especially if the weather turns sour in a potential snow game at MetLife. History hasn't been kind to us there, with injuries plaguing key players like Bosa and Williams. However, we must believe in our team's resilience to prevail. The matchup against the Rams is pivotal. Stafford is undeniably one of the top quarterbacks in the league, and while we managed to defeat them last season, that was under a different defensive setup. The downgrade to Morris raises concerns about our ability to contain their explosive offense. As we move on to the Chargers, their transition to a new offensive coordinator could make them a formidable opponent. They possess a strong defense and a talented quarterback, which means we cannot take them lightly. And let's not forget about the Eagles. They are stacked, but with their quarterback's decline and potential trades in the air, they might be a team in disarray by the time we meet them in Week 17. Looking ahead to the season, the 49ers have a real shot at sneaking into the playoffs with a target of around 10 wins. Yet, we cannot ignore that the Seahawks also won 10 games in 2024, but missed the playoffs. If we do fail to make the postseason, it's clear that we'll need to reassess our strategy moving forward. As the schedule unfolds, the challenges are real, but so are the opportunities. The 49ers must rise to the occasion, and we, as fans, must rally behind them, pushing for excellence week in and week out. Let's see how this all plays out as we transition to the next news item. As the offseason progresses, all eyes are on Brock Purdy and his development as the San Francisco 49ers starting quarterback. At a recent press conference, offensive coordinator Klay Kubiak highlighted two critical areas for Purdy's improvement: footwork and the ability to remain composed in the pocket. This isn't just a casual observation. It's a call to action reminiscent of the early days of Steve Young, who faced similar challenges when he joined the 49ers. Fans, where are you watching from? Share your thoughts on Purdy's growth and what you expect to see next season. Purdy's evolution as a quarterback is already evident when we examine the numbers. His average time to throw has steadily increased, 2.67 seconds in 2023, rising to 2.74 in 2024, and then jumping to 3.14 in 2025. This trajectory reflects a combination of offensive line performance and Purdy's growing confidence in avoiding pressure. But more than just escaping the rush, Kubiak is emphasizing the importance of staying in the pocket, a lesson rooted in the rich history of the 49ers quarterback legacy. Interestingly, Purdy's rushing attempts and yardage surged from 39 carries for 144 yards in 2023 to 66 carries for 323 yards in 2024. While it's great to see him use his legs as a weapon, his most effective passing came when he relied less on scrambling. In 2023, Purdy boasted an impressive passer rating index of 142, which unfortunately dropped to 108 in 2024 and bounced back slightly to 113 in 2025. The league is adapting to his style, and so must he. Kubiak has made it clear. He wants that 2023 version of Purdy back, one who makes quicker decisions and avoids turnovers. A deep dive into Purdy's performance reveals a troubling statistic. 7 of his 10 interceptions in 2025 came on plays where he held the ball for over 2.5 seconds. His turnover-worthy play rate skyrocketed from a respectable 2.1% in 2024 to a staggering 5.3% in 2025. This is where a fundamental shift in his approach is vital. Purdy must cultivate a better instinct for keeping plays alive while utilizing his footwork to avoid throwing into heavy traffic. More checkdowns and smarter decisions are essential if he wants to regain his previous efficiency. Reflecting on Young's journey can provide valuable insights for Purdy. After leaving Iowa State, Young sought out a quarterback coach to refine his mechanics, which significantly improved his throwing velocity. However, when Purdy leaps to make a jump pass, he sacrifices that stable base, which could lead to mistakes. It's crucial for him to remember that the best throws come from a solid foundation. Young once stated that by analyzing his footwork, he could gauge his performance. This discipline and focus on mechanics helped elevate him to Hall of Fame status. The parallels between Young's early struggles and Purdy's current challenges are striking. Both had to overcome a tendency to rely on their athleticism at the first hint of pressure, something that could be a double-edged sword for a quarterback. Kubiak's emphasis on footwork echoes the teachings of Young's coaches, who stressed keeping his back foot aligned with his hips to maintain balance and optimize throwing power. This fundamental lesson is not just about physicality. It's a mindset that Purdy must adopt. Young faced a pivotal moment in his career during a 1991 game against the Raiders, where he was pressured into scrambling too soon. The aftermath was a harsh lesson from teammates and a turning point for his career. When Young returned from injury the following season, he had a newfound understanding of his role, leading the 49ers to an MVP season. While it's essential not to set the bar too high for Purdy, the lessons from Young's journey are clear and applicable. Full trust in the offense and a commitment to improving footwork can elevate not only the quarterback, but the entire team. Purdy has acknowledged the need to protect the ball after games where he's thrown interceptions, and now it's time for him to translate that understanding into action on the field. As this offseason progresses, the question remains, can Brock Purdy take the next step in his evolution? The potential is there, but it will take dedication and a willingness to adapt to the ever-changing landscape of the NFL. Now, let's transition to the next segment and see what other developments are on the horizon for the 49ers.
As we dive into the latest on the San Francisco 49ers, there's plenty to unpack regarding their 2026 schedule, which is now officially unveiled. The anticipation is palpable as the 49ers gear up for an international showdown in Melbourne against their NFC West rivals, the Los Angeles Rams, on September 10th. This marks not only a significant game for the team, but also a historic moment, bringing the excitement of 49ers football to Australia. Fans, where are you watching from? Let us know in the comments and share your thoughts on this thrilling matchup. Opening the season in a foreign land against a familiar foe sets the tone for what promises to be an exhilarating campaign. The 49ers have a strong roster that can take on this challenge, but they must be ready to face the Rams, a team that has proven to be a formidable opponent in previous seasons. This game will be broadcast at 5:35 p.m. Pacific Time on Netflix, and it's a chance for the Niners to set the stage for their season. Following the Melbourne adventure, San Francisco returns home to Levi's Stadium for their Week 2 matchup against the Miami Dolphins. This home opener, scheduled for September 20th at 1:25 p.m. Pacific Time on Fox, is not just another game. It's a crucial opportunity for the 49ers to establish their dominance early in the season. The Dolphins are no slouches, but with the talent the 49ers possess, this should be a statement game. As we look further into the season, the 49ers have scheduled clashes against other competitive teams, including the Arizona Cardinals, Denver Broncos, and a significant divisional matchup against the Seattle Seahawks on October 11th. This rivalry has been intense and always brings out the best in both teams. The Niners need to capitalize on these games, especially since they have been gifted 5 primetime matchups throughout the season, which shows how the league is recognizing the potential this team has to shine under the spotlight. However, let's not overlook the reality of the 2026 opponents. The combined record of last season shows a near-even split at 143-145-1, placing the 49ers in the middle tier in terms of strength of schedule for the upcoming season. This is a double-edged sword. While it offers a chance for victories, it also means that the 49ers cannot afford to underestimate any opponent. Each game will test their mettle, and they must come prepared to fight week in and week out. Looking at the schedule specifics, the bye week falls on week 8, which is strategically placed, allowing the team to rest and regroup before the final stretch of the season. This could be crucial as injuries and fatigue often play a significant role in the latter half of the season. In terms of television coverage, the flexible scheduling for Sunday Night Football and other primetime slots will keep the fans on their toes. The NFL's discretion to adjust game times based on team performance means that every week could bring new surprises. For the 49ers, this means they must be consistently good, no room for complacency as they aim for the playoffs and beyond. As we approach the end of this deep dive into the 2026 schedule, it's clear that the 49ers have a path laid out that could lead them to significant success. They must harness their strengths, address any weaknesses, and ensure that they are ready for the many challenges ahead. The season is long, and it will require not just talent but also teamwork, strategy, and resilience. So, as we gear up for what promises to be an unforgettable season, let's rally behind our 49ers. Make sure to subscribe and join the conversation in the comments below about what you expect from the team this year. Your insights matter, and together we can support the Niners through every tackle, touchdown, and triumph this season.